Hey, what's up everyone? So today we're talking about the engine that runs the entire web, which is JavaScript. So we often hear about HTML and CSS, but JavaScript is what takes a static page and brings it to life. So what is it actually? It's a scripting language used by browsers. So if you imagine a house, HTML is the walls, CSS is the paint, and JavaScript is the electricity and the plumbing actually running the entire house. So in short, it handles the behavior. So JavaScript was actually made over a period of 10 days, and it was originally called Netscape. And before, the web consisted of just static pages. So now you're used to all the interactivity, but before it was like just turning a page in a book. So the reason it was made is because we needed a way to make things kind of come to life. So which takes us to the next point, which is the holy trinity of frontend. So HTML is going to be our structure, CSS is kind of our presentation, our design, our aesthetics, and JavaScript is really the engine that runs everything, and it's what actually interacts with the web page, with the browser. So without JavaScript, you have nothing. But how does it actually work though, right? Because JavaScript talks to HTML and CSS talks to HTML, and then you run it, and they all synchronize and work together in harmony, right? But it's something called the DOM, so the document object model. So think of the DOM as a map for every element within your page. So JavaScript, what it can do is find every single element, locate it, whether it's a button or something else. It can delete it, change it, move it around, and do whatever with it, and also allow the user to just have complete interactivity. All the while the user's still looking at it. So it doesn't mean the entire website now has to refresh. It can just refresh a component of that web page. So it connects to CSS in the same exact way. So JavaScript can actually change the style. So if you've seen something like a light mode, dark mode, that's all JavaScript with CSS kind of working in the background too. But this leads us to the modern era of TypeScript. So in frameworks like React, we don't have to keep our logic and our HTML in separate files anymore. We can actually bring them into one. So TypeScript actually allows us to write HTML style code within our JavaScript. And basically what it does, it allows us to build self-contained components that have both structure and logic within one place. So first is that it's ubiquitous. So it runs on anywhere, right? So it runs on any browser, does not matter. It does not have to be installed, which is a huge plus, right? Second, it runs on a person's computer, not the server. That's also kind of a downside too, because based upon what you have in your computer setup, it may not be as efficient, which is why you see some great websites be a little choppy on your computer if you don't have a great computer. And the third is can be the ecosystem. So there's a huge library of solutions already out there. And if you have a problem, chances are these solutions are already out there ready for you to go grab it. So one of the cons I already mentioned was going to be it runs based upon the computer that it's locally using, right? And then another one is going to be that it's weakly typed. So for example, if you tried to add the word hello to the number 5, JavaScript is going to try to run it. It won't stop you, but it will crash or do something weird later. And this is exactly why we use TypeScript, because TypeScript has guardrails and safety nets in it that JavaScript natively does not have. So just to summarize, HTML is like the noun, CSS is the adjective, and then JavaScript is the verb. And you need all three to make a complete sentence. All right, so let's talk through some code real quick just so you can see exactly what JavaScript looks like. And then in the future, we'll actually write out some JavaScript real time so you can see exactly how we can do that. All right, so let's take a look at this block of code first. So we have variables defined by let. So think of these as like containers. They're holding the name user here, and then we have the logic, so the if and else block. So this acts like a traffic cop, if you will, and it checks the status if it's inactive or active and gives you welcome. If not, you get a login prompt. And this acts like a checker, right? So if it's active, then you get a welcome. If not, then you get a login prompt. So natively within TypeScript, you can't just write an if-else statement just like you can in Python. The syntax is just going to be a little bit different though. All right, so now we have modern variables, which is going to be const versus let. So const stands for constant, which was introduced in 2015. And this is how we declare variables that should not change. If I define the app name as Nexion, for example, I don't want it to accidentally override it later, which is why constant prevents that, whereas let, you can dynamically change it over time. So if you try to change it, the code is going to throw an error to just simply protect you. That's just a fail-safe, right? Now, I know JavaScript looks a little bit weird, and to be honest, if you're just starting out, JavaScript is a pain in the butt, and it does take time to learn it, especially if you're just trying to make a massive project. But I would say start off small just so you can get the hang of it and then work your way up from there. But hopefully this video is able to help you out, let you know what JavaScript is, how it has interactivity between HTML, TypeScript, and then CSS as well. In the future, we're going to integrate all of these so that we can build apps from the ground up. But as always, leave a like, comment, and let me know your thoughts down below. And thanks for watching.